Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. It's probably one of the most important stories that I'm going to tell you. Every marginalized group within a so called dominant society has its own mores, folktales, ways, sayings, ways of existing, ways of keeping safe, of protecting and providing, and yet flourishing. Everyone is kind of becoming aware of the Tulsa race massacre. There are, back to the 1600, probably 100, a little bit more than 100 of those. And those massacres happened whenever a Black person was rising up, seeking to be who they truly were. And it has been made really clear by Ida B. Wells that lynchings were not some random thing, not a retaliation for someone who was a criminal who had done some criminal act. Lynchings were done to people who had become successful. And so the way to um, keep that desire, that hope from happening was to cut off the head. And in many cases, these bodies were hung, and people were told, you leave them there until this hour, because it was to be a symbol to everyone else that if you seek to become successful, to rise up, we will cut you down. And so, as a result, Black people, all marginalized people, have their own in groupness that they keep to themselves. So here's the story. On Sunday at church, one of my friends from church, we're good friends. We're friends enough that I've given her the numbers of my textile people. That's how good we are. Still, she doesn't know a lot of the sayings and the things that Black folks hold dear because we tend to not do that. So she revealed to me her age, and I was shocked. She's 79 and she looks 60. If a day, she looks really, really good. And I was tempted to say to her the phrase that Black folks say, but then I was like, do I know her like that? And so we moved outside, and another friend was there, and there were a bunch of tourists in the square. And he made a joke about the tourists in the square, and she laughed about it, and she said she'd seen it on a t-shirt. And he said, yeah, but we can't say those kinds of things, can we? And and I said, yeah, well, no, because we have too much class. And some people put it on a t-shirt and we just laugh about it amongst ourselves. And I said, because some humor is just family humor, and some sayings are just for the family, and you keep them to the family. And so she laughed and he laughed, and it gave me an opportunity to say what I had wanted to say to her before when I found out that she was 79. And I said, do you two know the phrase black don't crack? And they were like, what? And I had on my mask, so it was kind of hard to hear me. And so they said, black on crack. And I said, no, black don't crack. Now I'm referring back to something earlier, not to the same thing. And they said, no, what does that mean? I said, when you told me how old you were, the first thing I wanted to say was, are you black? Because black don't crack. Well, she was like, oh. So she had to bring in the other friend in, and she said, she's referring to my skin and how I look and my age. And so then she told him her age, and she was happy to say her age because now she had this thing. And I said, and I'm going back to it. Are you black? Because black don't crack. And she said, well, I am from Alabama, and you know. And we howled. In that brief exchange, I had shared not only some of the mores of my own folks, the folkways and mores of my own folks. She revealed to me some of the hidden secrets of her own family. People, we can't do this without getting close first. There will be some things that feel uncomfortable because you're not accustomed to it. I think I heard this yesterday from a brilliant young person at the company I'm working with. She said, we just have to get past the uncomfortable part. and a light went off in my heart, my head. That's it. We keep saying we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I don't believe that. Learning should excite you. Learning should drive you. Learning should make you feel proud. Those of you who are learning and growing and becoming should not be walking around steeped in so much anger and guilt and shame because we can't move forward with it. You got to get over that. You got to get past the uncomfortable part so that we can share in love. You learning what I already know. And I'll be truthful with you. When you're marginalized in a so-called dominant society, I know what you know. You don't know what I know. And in order to get it from me, you got to be close enough and willing to share something, knowledge that's important to me. And quite frankly, I know the stuff in y'all's books. I don't know the stuff that's in your heart. I love you, and I know we're going to get there. Put down that guilt, that shame, that anger. Feel it, and then keep learning. I love you.